Hi, my name is Joshua Lindevalson, and I'm going to be talking about Erik Erikson, his 8-stage theories, just the 5, and how they can be applied to education. So Erik Erikson was born in Germany in 1902, and he became a psychoanalyst in 1927 after he had pursued an art career and was teaching children at the time. He was fascinated by them, and so he became a psychoanalyst at Yale. He developed 8-stage theories. We're only going to go through 5 today, right now, just in the student area. But they are, each stage comes with an anti or a virtue or an anti-virtue that manifests within the individual based on their environment and how that virtue is treated. So for example, infancy, 0 to 18 months, the virtue here is trust versus mistrust. The main question is, for the child, is my world safe? Children develop a sense of trust when caregivers provide reliability. A lack of this will lead to mistrust. Early childhood, 2 to 3 years old, is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Can I do things by myself, or need I always rely on others? Then you have preschool, 3 to 5, initiative versus guilt. Am I good or bad? Children need to begin asserting control and power over their environment. Success in this state leads to a sense of purpose. Children who try to exert too much power experience disapproval, resulting in a shame or guilt that I'm a bad person because I was doing something wrong. School age, 8 to 11, industry versus inferiority. The main question here is, how can I be good? Starting to evaluate yourself to other people. Children need to cope with new social, academic demands. Success leads to a sense of competence, while failure results in feelings of inferiority. Adolescence, 12 to 18, is identity role versus confusion. This is where the student needs to ask the question, the individual is asking themselves, who am I? Where am I going? The teens need to learn a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to an ability to stay true to yourself, both in later parts of your life and in the now, while failure leads to role confusion and a weak sense of self, relying on other parts of the world to develop. That's who I am. That's who I say that I am. So in terms of education, I believe that educators can use these 5 stages specifically to analyze where a student is at and help them manifest those virtues and how it responds to education. So for example, stage 1, trust versus mistrust, the student can either learn to trust you or mistrust you as an educator. You have to provide care and kindness to the student to make them not only trust you, but other educators to know that, oh, I shouldn't fear educators. I should learn to ask them for questions or to trust them that they have the knowledge that I need. Stage 2, autonomy versus shame. The student needs to feel The student needs to feel confident in the classroom to be who they are. Speak up, encourage discussion. Don't shut down ideas or passion. You don't want to say, no, it's only going to be this way. We're going to shut that idea down. No, you can't speak right now. You want to encourage discussion. Just go and encourage speaking up their own minds, the confidence. Stage 3, initiative versus guilt. The student needs to be able to start doing things on their own, making friends, bringing up their own ideas, feeling validated in the classroom. Teachers need to be able to help bring that out of their students, to let them choose options. Oh, you can choose what your paper is going to be about, or you can choose what your topic on your video essay is going to be about. Stage 4, industry versus inferiority. The educator needs to challenge the student, both on their ideas and with the curriculum. But always, this is very key, always give positive reinforcement. You're not trying to crush them down under a system of new challenges. You're trying to challenge them to make them stronger as a person. It's always for their benefit. But this is both from the educator standpoint and the parent standpoint. Then you have stage 5, identity versus role confusion. A student should start to find out what topics drive them, what they are passionate about in the world. Instead of being forced into a career path that they may hate, the educator should take notes of what inspires the student and tap into that energy. The educator should be always watching the students, seeing what sparks their interest, what really gets them going, or asking questions, and then leaning into that. If they're interested in a certain topic, say history, for example, ask them what's their favorite history topic, or specifically person in history. Maybe you want to give us a more informational paper, drive their curiosity. But There are two common critique. Well, there's a common critique for Erik Erikson, and then there's a second critique that I myself have. The two critiques are, first, is that Erik tries to bottle an individual into these 8 stages of life. We only went through 5, but specifically that they go through each of these crises of virtue through their life, and then once one is done, oh, it's sealed, and we're going to continue on. That's not always the case. Humans are much more complex than that. We may come back to a trust versus mistrust issue way on later in life, maybe with dealing with a parent or their sibling, or specifically an authority figure that they thought was doing what's right for them. And then when that is hurt, that virtue can be deceased, can be damaged, and has to be repaired again, and they go through it again. Then the second critique, I believe, that is important is none of these virtues bring up faith. I think that there is a difference when a student, not a student and an individual, a child, is raised up with a virtue of faith. First from the Bible or a religious source that says what is good and what is bad. And the child knows, oh, the Bible is the authority, I have to follow that. Which then transitions into, why am I following that? They start questioning, why am I turning the other cheek? Why am I loving my enemies? Which then hopefully goes into the third stage where you, the individual, takes on the virtues and understands why you carry them, why you want to follow them, because they are good, because they strengthen your life, because they can provide comfort and hope, and they make you a better person, or that is the hope. So that is how I think the 8-stage theories, specifically the 5, can be applied in the classroom. You can use, as the educator, to analyze where your student is at in these stages specifically, and to help manifest those virtues into strength. Thank you for listening to this lecture. Have a good day.